Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It is me, once again, screaming into the void of the internet. You know, I was having a conversation with my friend today, and it's funny, it's pretty stormy out here, so I don't know if I can go for as long as I would prefer. I mean, heck, got so bad that the lightning light basically cut our session off early, so, he's off to bed. It rolled my freaking internet, too, so it is what it is. It's that cool lightning, though. It's like the freaking... It's like where it looks purple and stuff like that. It looks really cool. I like it. But, essentially what's going on is... We were having this conversation because, like, he was sending this reel. Because my friend sends a lot of, like, nostalgia reels, right? And he's in the mind... And I've said this before, right? That, like... He really feels like we were both born... like in the wrong time period, because of the way that we think. Good night, that's a flash, man. I might get rolled. I don't know. Might get rolled by lightning. Just out here talking. Funnily enough, I'm like sitting on like a I kid you not, I'm like sitting on like a little trailer, and I'm sitting right on like the metal piece, so this video goes silent and stuff like that. There's a nice little lightning rod right there, so I might get rolled. But essentially, he was saying that, in his opinion, we were born in the wrong time period because of all the stuff going on. And he looks at a lot of nostalgic stuff, and it says, can't wait to grow up was like one of the stupidest things that we ever said when we were younger. And you know what I responded with? It's mainly just because of, like, how effed up the state of the world is, right? Like, the world's always been effed up, but, I don't sit around with rose-tinted goggles, and that's not me, like, being an elitist, I don't look down on anyone that, like, cherishes the good times. I miss a lot of stuff about the so-called, air quotes, good times, even though my childhood was pretty effed up in terms of abuse and stuff like that. Like, I miss Cartoon Network, just Cartoon Network, not PCN, Political Correct Network and stuff like that. I miss cartoons just being a bit goofy. Heck, I even miss villains that are just villains to be villains. Like, I know people don't want to believe that can work, but if you go back and, like, just look at, villains, like, say, old Disney villains, like Hades and, like, even Buzz Lightyear Zurg, and just listen to, like, the comments that they make, like, oh, please, like, a freaking, like, a sympathetic politician, now that's a villain right there. Like, that's essentially, like, they make all these funny jokes, and it's, like, you catch it now, you catch it now as a grown-up, but I don't want to stray too far, but, I don't pretend like there isn't something that we've lost with time. I don't pretend like these days where we looked at our entertainment, is different. Like, I looked at something in relation to, I think it's Ghost Recon or Rainbow Six, like, basically, they turned this chick into, like, a guy, and they're like, oh, I'm twice as dangerous now. And I'm like, yeah, this is why. This is why people are, so demanding of, like, the so-called good times. But know this, that even back then, like, that kind of stuff was there, but it was, like, I don't know, it was just better, like, I don't know if you know about this game called, like, Bloody Roar, but there's essentially this person there that's a cross-dresser and stuff like that, and his name is Hans and stuff, right? And he's like a freaking fox or something, but he cross-dresses. But the difference is, like, that's just a character, like, it's not like the entirety of the game is just screaming, okay, woke, gotta have a transsexual here, lesbian here, if just a character is like that, that's how I've always seen it, like, I'm fine looking at that stuff. Same with JoJo, right? Like, if that's just, like, the character's art style from the get-go, then that's different, it's different. But when it's, like, so forced, and it's always just this propaganda, and it's just them whining about how unfair life is to them, like, it's irritating. It's irritating. But trying to, like, stay on topic, one of the things that we were saying is, you claim that adulthood's bad, mainly just because of, like, the state of the economy. Like, just imagine, like, if we were in an economy where, like, not one family, but one person working could support the family. And listen, I'm going to be, again, like, this isn't like me on the family nonsense, but this is just, I have to accept what it is. Most men are literally just of the opinion that their lives are meaningless without families. And I understand where they're coming from, but it's also due to the fact that a lot of guys just aren't willing to accept that, listen, dude, like, for some reason, men in general, like, have this idea that they need to be Atlas. Like, they need to put all this unnecessary responsibility on themselves and stuff like that. And so they're like, I want to be a good dad and stuff. I'm like, you can be a good dad all you want, but that doesn't guarantee your kids are... Like, I hear some guys who say that, like, they're pretty, air quote, successful in terms of finances. And they've done the best that they can with those kids to, like, give them morals and stuff, but they're still just so uppity, and they hate that. And I'm like, well, listen, you gave them the book. You told them some stuff, and you gave them the morals, but they have to choose to follow it, Like, that's the thing that people don't understand about kids. Like, they're not obligated to follow. You can try and say that, like, one of the most important things you'll do in the world is to, like, pass on your worldview, but the thing about it is this, that's your worldview. And while it might help shape your children's, like, they're still going to form their own. Like, there are going to be conclusions and things that they come to that are different. I appreciate my mother. I appreciate her helping me with my worldview, because I'll be honest, guys, I lucked out with a mother. Like, I didn't luck out with a dad, because my dad was abusive and stuff like that, even though I don't really like to call him my dad. He's more of a tyrant, just beating on us because I guess he was stressed out. But hey, no one told his dumb arse to, like, stick your dick unprepared and then you get, like, 4 kids, because that's a whole other thing I could talk about, but I'll save that for, a future video. But, I lucked out with my mom. She at least gave me some good morals. She told me to, like, stay away from girls, focus on school and stuff like that, and so I did. And I got, a relatively decent grade point average on average. Like, I would usually have, like, 3.5, 3 point... Rarely did it go below that, stuff like that, so... She got me on the right track, but she also, like, accepted that, when I said I didn't want to go to college and stuff like that, so I lucked out there. But the point that I'm trying to make before I get too far off topic, because I know I ramble a lot, but I try and stay a bit more on topic these days. Try, keyword, It's that... How should I say this? Guys have this thing where they feel like they need to put responsibility on themselves, and living in this kind of world where, okay, you still get the responsibility, but the ease of actually living up to that responsibility has gone up dramatically. Like, one job is not supporting a family, unless you are insanely successful. Because one thing that I hate, especially in, like, the so-called red pill community, which I don't really think that there's a red pill community. I think there's, like, a subtext, it's not subtext, a subculture within the red pill that are, like, legitimate, and then there are just, like, grifters, right? This self-improvement bullcrap. Now, let me make this very clear. I've said this previously in a video, like, accountability, okay? You know how I feel about accountability if you are watching me consecutively, right? It is important to be accountable with oneself. Like, don't sit around here and make it seem like it's always other people. There are certain things that you can control. Like, if you got overweight and stuff like that, yeah, maybe your parents did help, like, get you fat in the first place, but once you get to a certain mentality and, you know better and stuff like that, then it's up to you to kind of, maintain yourself. So, you gotta be real. But at the same token, here's the thing. Again, this whole, like, you can improve and improve and improve, you can't, dude. Like, this idea that, like, you're going to be successful in a world where everyone is trying to be successful. Listen, in order for there to be winners, there's gonna have to be losers. That's just the world that we live in, like... You can choose not to believe that all you want, but there's gonna be losers as a result. And I don't mean losers in, like, lose at life, okay? I mean lose at this rigged arse game. Because, listen, life is not you going to work, punching a clock to freaking pay bills. That's not life, okay? Don't think that that's what we're supposed to do. Every time I turn around and I, look at some of these doctors that make videos, like, how they left the medical field and how they're like, like, to be honest, what they're usually saying is, like, the way that we live life is literally why, like, most people need medicine, Like, you're not supposed to freaking stand in place for, like, 10 hours a day and you're just standing there doing nothing. Like, yeah, we worked, yeah, we were on our feet, yeah, we even, effed our health up then, but it's like, we were mainly the benefactors of our own labor. So, it wasn't really the same, like, when you harvested, that was just for you. It wasn't for freaking Caesar and stuff like that. Until the cocksuckers came along and then started laying claim, like, oh, well, we own the land, and this, that, and the other. And this is, again, one of the biggest reasons, because I had this conversation before with someone in the comments, like, they said that they'd leave America if they could, and I agree, but I just can't leave my Second Amendment, man. I can't. F that. I looked at too many cultures across history where they don't have guns and they can't fight back, and they're effed when things get rough. And it is sprinkling. I really hope I'm not going to have to run, but I might have to, guys. Here's what I'm trying to say. All right. We're in a day and age where all of these burdens are put on you, but, like, the probability of achieving that is a lot lower. It's not that you can't do these things, because, again, like, I'm not going to sit around here and tell you that you can't, but you're not really going to have the odds in your favor, dude. Like, most people are not looking at the ability to be able to purchase a house. Most people are not looking at the ability to be able to live on their own. I'm dead serious, dude. I think that we should really start considering just, like, forming up brotherhoods and stuff like that, and just considering, like, buying property that way, because there's just no way. There's no way that, or if you're close with your family, if maybe you don't have a piece of crap family, like, just consider talking to them and say, hey, listen, maybe we need to, like, try and buy a house, like, all together, because there's just no way that you're going to be able to, like, do all this crap on your own at this point, because this freaking cancer economy. And listen, I don't have all my hope in, like, say, Trump, for instance, and, you know, nothing against Trump personally, like, in comparison to him, which I don't fully support him, but him or, like, Kamala, for God's sakes, like, it is not even a freaking contest. I don't care how much you hate the orange man, like, this slut is giving all of your money to freaking migrants, and for you to literally say you hate orange man that bad that you are literally still fine with your money being stolen from you to be given to migrants, and then ask those same people why there isn't anything for you, oh, suck my dick, you're not trying hard enough. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not a political person, but there is no way in hell that Kamala would do anything other than, like, completely destroy this country even more than it is. So, my little political tangent is over right there, but I'm just saying, like, that's really the only hope that I see of anyone doing this. Like, there's no real way for most average guys to be able to do this. And yes, there are exceptional guys, but even those guys are going to have a hard time. Those guys are losing their assets. Inflation is completely effing you. You know, that's why people try to say, oh, have your, assets in other places. Don't just have it, be in money, because you'll lose it over time due to, like, inflation. But here's my other problem. Like, I freaking hate business. I hate business. Business is such a freaking scummy, manipulative, garbage system that is designed to get you richer while you F everyone else in the arse. I know it because I studied it, okay? Like, I studied it hardcore. I also studied insurance, and insurance was a lot of business involved in that too, and it was just like, we learned the difference between term and life and whole life, all kinds of stuff, right? And I just do not have the heart. Listen, I'm not a good person. I know I'm not, okay? I don't pretend like I'm a good person. I don't think I got a good heart. I'm just me. But I do not have the ability to just sit there and lie to that person and just tell them, yeah, you want this thing that's going to completely F your arsehole, ruin your credit, and take all this money from you, and even if you do die, like, the government's going to get a massive cut before, like, any of this goes. I just don't have the heart for that crap, dude. I just don't. I don't, personally. But this system is set up in a manner where there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers, and it's just so happened that the winners have gone down dramatically. Perhaps at one point in time, like I said, back in the so-called good old days and stuff like that, maybe closer to boomers and stuff like that, that it was easier. Yes, like, one job could support a full family and stuff like that. They still had their problems, but it was still, a thing. Like, that family was able to go on vacations. That family was able to do stuff. And, that's not a life that we really see. We're just slaving away at wage cages if you're fortunate enough to work, and the very people that are working are freaking diversity hired, and the cancer that is HR. I really hate HR. I can't stress that enough. I freaking despise HR, dude. God, I hate HR. Why are they a thing? I hate HR with such a passion, dude. It's not even funny. It's just, you're just stuck getting screwed in the arse, essentially living the same day on repeat. Whether it's HR, trying to get an application, whether it's actually working, you're just, like, essentially in a loop. You're in a freaking genjutsu. You're just in a loop, But I don't get too caught up in rose-tinted goggles because, listen, I like a lot of the stuff that we have here. Can I be real? I like certain technologies that have come across. I love my video games. You know, I love playing Elden Ring. I love playing Dark Souls and stuff like that. And going back to a time where that basically didn't exist, you know, a time where I was a kid, because my childhood was not pleasant, you know, so. I mean, maybe if I was an adult, that's different, because then, you know, I could have work experience and I'd know what to do, but listen, dude, the fact of the matter is still life's unpredictable. There's some people that were born back then that are still, like, effed, because as much as I hate boomers and stuff like that for the most part, there are some that say, hey, listen, man, I'm not on that bootstrap stuff, you know, I basically got effed in the arse too, you know, especially with, like, some of these, recessions, like, I think the one, what was it, like, 2004, that was the recession, that effed a lot of people up that they didn't recover, and they're basically in the same boat. I know some people are like, F them, and I get it, I do, because I do hate quite a few boomers, because you can't tell them anything, you know, they're still like, oh, no, I'm still in this day and age, I just need a job, and you're just lazy, and this, that, and the other, as they have a house, you know, that they bought for, like, $30K, and now it's worth, like, $500K. It's complete cancer. It's complete cancer. But I understand the sentiment. You know, I do understand why people feel like that. But I also feel like people don't realize, like, we're gonna have a civil war, dude. Like, I know some people don't want to hear that. I know some people don't want to believe that. But there is just too much crap going on in all these countries. And too many angry people. And I don't say that as, like, oh, you shouldn't be angry. I say that as, like, you know, like, you should be angry. You know, like, we're in the midst of a civil war. This is completely unsustainable, and I don't know if it's going to be some Mad Max type crap. I feel like it will be. I feel like everyone's literally just waiting for that to happen right now. Like, HMT. Hockey mask time, baby. It's going to happen. Like, listen, it's unavoidable. I don't know how I don't know how anyone can really feel like I don't know how big it's going to be. I'm not going to pretend like I know how big it's going to be, but listen, like, Paris was doing that crap over, like, the retirement thing. They were, like, burning stuff to the ground. I don't think they're still doing it now, but, like I'm saying, like, people are pissed. Like, they're reaching a breaking point. I don't know when that breaking point is, but they're not going to sit around here and continuously take this bullcrap. They're eventually going to just get to a point and just snap. Man, I think it needs to happen. Especially, like, in these European countries, because holy cow, like, the freaking migrants there. Listen, in America, it needs to happen, but, like, I'm looking at all this crap going on in Europe, and I'm like, holy cow, dude, what is going on? You know, when I was, like, reading, because I read a lot of fantasy, it made me always want to visit a lot of European places to look at these castles and the history and the architecture, but, you know, looking at how woke they are, it's insane, dude. Like, these freaking Icelandic people and Irish people and stuff, like, why is it so woke over there? Like, why is it so bad? It's like, okay, maybe, like, a few people woke, but, like, it's like, that's just insane to me. Like, I know I live in freaking Miami, of all places, so it's like, I shouldn't say anything, but, because I live in a freaking disgusting area, you know. All the degeneracy in Miami and crap, like, it ain't pretty either, but, you know, there's still, like, places in Florida that are pretty solid and stuff like that. But Florida's not a whole arse country, you know, like, so. You know, I'm looking at these other, like, Icelandic places and, you know, castles and stuff that I want to visit, and they're freaking woke to the extent that they're like, alright, if you misgender someone, you know, like, 8 years or something, like, in jail, what? Yeah, about that. Not really something that you're going to be interested in doing, you know? Not at all. And that's why I really personally feel that, you know, it's going to be ugly. This civil war that's coming, it's going to be ugly. But it's also going to be necessary because, you know, since nobody wants to really try and take charge and stuff like that, then the people who remain are going to take charge. Be it positive or negative. I just really hope that the ones who do take charge are going to be the ones that remain, I should say. I hope that they really know what's up. You know, I hope that they never, ever, ever have some kind of system. But they're going to do it because humans are freaking humans, so it's like they're doomed. Like, when you really look at it from an objective point of view, because humanity does not consider the importance of history, we're just eternally doomed to repeat it. We really are. We really are. We're just like in an infinite loop where it's like the civilizations rise and fall, but it's like now you shouldn't have an excuse, right? Like, you would think that now we would break the cycle because we have all this technology, and for God's sakes, we literally, in the early days of the internet, created a Wayback Machine where we started archiving stuff and just archiving information and stuff like that. So you would really think that now of all times we just wouldn't forget history. We would understand the importance of it, and people don't. Like, you start asking them this stuff about history, and it's not like, it's not trivia. Listen, people think a lot of stuff in life is trivia. I think like stuff like, freaking like calculus and trigonometry and all this bull crap, that's trivia. Okay, that's useless. But history is always important, because history can usually give you future sight and how people are going to act, because people do repeat it. So when you see a kingdom, treating people a certain way, and you make the connection that, oh, hey, a government is treating people a certain way, and eventually this is what's gonna happen, And yeah, but you also can understand why something might not happen, because, for example, the kingdom has treated those people that way, but back in that day, everyone had a sword, everyone was basically kind of on an equal playing field. Now, you see, the kingdom has said, all right, I want your weapons, especially in a lot of these countries, and all these people said, well, okay, sir, okay, massa. They gave them the weapons, and now who has weapons? Sure as heck ain't you. The police still got them, though. So, what are you going to do to retaliate? You really got to think about that stuff. And that's why history is so important. That's why I myself, yeah, I can't stand freaking America in terms of what it is doing. I like its principles, but I hate what it's doing, and I get personally why all these guys want to leave and stuff like that, and I fully support it, but I myself, just for the sake of my firearms, I'm not, man. No, I'm not going to go to a country where I can't defend myself, because you're under the impression that, okay, well, at least, before Haku Mass time kicks off, hopefully I'm dead. You don't know, man. You really don't, because when this crap takes off and stuff, it's going to affect all places. When these hard hitters, economically speaking, start dealing with these civil wars and stuff like that, all of these places are going to get hit. So, I don't know. Some people are talking about nuclear war. I don't know about that, dude. I really don't. Because think about it, if guys aren't even willing to go try and, consistently get a job because of how cancerous HR is, do you really think, and this isn't me insulting, this is me insulting because I'm a NEET, for God's sakes, right? If they're not willing to do that, do you really think that they give a rat's arse about, trying to get drafted? Think about it right now. Prison is looking a lot more comfortable by a lot of people's standards. You gotta think about it. Prison is at the stage now where, some of these places are literally just getting an entire room by themselves. They're getting tablets with the internet so that they can, freaking browse stuff. Come on, dude. You start looking at it and say, hey, sounds like retirement to me. I don't gotta work ever again. You get 3 square meals a day, the food's crappy, and it kills you anyway because it's garbage, but hey, most of the crap out here is garbage as well, so, hey, what do you lose, right? Oh, well, you're gonna lose it, don't drop the soap, little bro, and stuff like that. Well, you're getting effed in the arse right now. At least he's doing it, directly, I guess. And that's not like that, you sick bastards. I'm just trying to be coy, What I'm getting at, though, is a lot of more men are not seeing prison as this, oh, I'm terrified of prison kind of thing. Because they feel like their lives are meaningless, so, do you really think that you're going to try and scare them into, doing stuff? And make no mistakes, let me make this very clear, because I said this myself, if somebody lied on me in relation to some crap going on about, say, a false rape accusation or something like that, or divorce rape or something, which, again, I don't have to worry about, but let's just theoretically say, oh yeah, and I lost it, I realized I was going to lose everything, trust, I'm lighting that courthouse up, I don't care. I'm making headlines. I don't care. I'm going to show you cocksuckers that no, not every one of us is just going to go down there and just sit around and take that. Nope, not me. So, yeah, you know, if you really wanted to play that game, don't think that there aren't other guys that are going to be like, oh, really? So you're going to F up our country. You're going to allow all of these freaking illegals to come here. All of the stuff that you told us that you couldn't do, you're going to do for them. You're going to give them free healthcare. You're going to give them food. You're going to give them credit cards. You're going to give all this stuff that comes out of our paychecks. And then if we ask you for anything, you tell us to go after ourselves. And you think you're going to pull us into a war? Oh, yeah. Do that crap if you want to. If that's going to, if anything is going to show you either how strong or how broken that spirit is, that will show you. And I promise you, I doubt that every guy is going to snap, but the guys who have had enough and the guys who actually have prepared, they're going to snap. If that happened and they were going to try and pull you into, they're going to snap. Trust, they're going to snap. I know I freaking would. Let some cocksucker come over here and tell me, oh, well, it's your duty. And so the country doesn't have a duty to look out for its citizens? You cocksuckers have let migrants in here? You're going to come and get the citizens to fight? How about get those freaking migrants to fight? Oh, that's right, you won't. You won't, will you? Because I'm telling you, man, I'm looking at all these instances where, you know, they're freaking effing up everything, like these freaking Indian truck drivers and stuff like that, where it's a freaking rigged system where they've got these freaking bastards, other Indians, who are freaking owning the freaking companies, and they're just letting them pass, and they can't freaking pass, and they crash the truck, and they kill several people. But, oh, it's a migrant, just let him off. Just let him off. Oh, they're about to freaking deport a rapist and then some stupid arse broad who got raped by him. Oh, just give him a chance. His dick felt good. Come on, baby. This is your society. And you think you're going to drag us into war? Oh, boy. You'll drag us into war, but it ain't going to be fought overseas. Just that. That's all I'm going to say. What I'm trying to get at, and I'll try and close this, hopefully. I'm not going to get rained on. I don't have nostalgia in terms of complete rose-tinted goggles. I do acknowledge that those times were probably better to live in. They were simpler times, you know. Child life, they were simpler times. You didn't worry as much. But I'm also not an idiot. And this is not me like saying that everyone else is an idiot. Not at all. What I'm getting at is this. You can't keep looking back at what you lost, man. You just can't. And I know that hurts. I know it does. Man, because I'm telling you, man, I look... And I'm kind of talking to myself, man, because it's like... I do remember a world where I could just walk in a place and just give them an application. They give me an application. And I'd probably be hired. And now I'm just over here just doing the same crap every day. Hopelessly, vainly applying for job after job, and I'm not getting anything, you know. And because I'm not getting anything, I'm essentially stuck. Freaking dogs, man. I'm essentially stuck just waiting on jackarses at HR who don't do their jobs to literally look at that paper and say, oh, that's a man. Oh, they're not, a freaking diversified idiot? No, don't think so. Meanwhile, this cunt has long arse nails, and I'm gonna always make this joke, because it is literally true. I've worked in offices before, and I'm telling you, like, the guys are the ones who are working. It's not the freaking chicks, dude. It's not the chicks, especially not the ones that are doing HR crap. They've got these long arse nails. They come in the freaking office with, like, these big arse bags and these freaking lattes and stuff like that, like 3 different cups, and they're just drinking, and you just hear them. Maybe there's an occasional, like, freaking key being pushed on the keyboard, but that's not really what's going on all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's really not. That's why I myself, I just can't. I can't, you know, like, I just can't when it comes down to that stuff. But I also cannot just resign myself to being in this cocksucking neighborhood, dude. I hate this neighborhood. I hate everything about my situation, I really do. And it just really pisses me off that I'm stuck here. For now. You know, I'm not gonna ever claim that I'm gonna just give up. F that, no. But for now, I can accept, I'm stuck. But I'm not gonna, again, like, sit around here and make it seem like, oh, this is all on me, because a lot of, again, like, guys, they're trying to be Atlas, and they put it all on them. No, it's not all on you, dude. This system is completely effed. It's rigged. Even if I get a job, it's not gonna guarantee that I can completely take care of myself. Like I said, yeah, I may be able to get a room, but I'm not gonna sit around here and pretend like, all right, you know, like, just living in a small arse room is how we're also supposed to live either, you know, because I've always felt like people, you know, I don't like to say you deserve your house, but you should have a space that you can call your own, that no one can F with you. Of course, nature always is going to try you. Other people are always going to try you, but I do feel like you should have that, you know. I do feel like you should have that. And that's kind of why, you know, I'm thinking about, like, you know, whole mobile RV kind of thing. Just buying a trailer, you know, turning it into a little home, something like that, you know. That's why I'm thinking about that. But that's also because I'm willing to make that sacrifice. Maybe you're not willing to. Maybe, you know, for you feel like you need a family. Because a lot of guys do feel like that. And it's not really my place to tell you, all right, everyone just let that go. But I'm also not going to be a freaking idiot. And I'm not going to, you know, try not to warn you. Because I'm like, listen, man, like, the only circumstance I can ever really see people marrying for, especially in today's day and age, considering how effed up people are. And I really wonder if they're even capable of trust and love and things like that. Because narcissism is prevalent like crazy thanks to social media and stuff like that. The only time I really think that people should even marry is for the sake of children. But even then, that's... I don't know. Because you gotta wonder about getting paternity tests these days, because you can't trust them. And even if you do get paternity tests, let's say paternity tests are mandated, all the state's gonna do is that, thanks for your DNA, you freaking cocksuckers. We're gonna keep this in your record. And you know what these bastards do with your stuff. You know what they're doing. So, I mean, your murdered children, you know, the children that you and the woman have, but you only need one to kill it, right? You need two to make it, but you need one to kill it. Isn't that something? They use those freaking stem cells from the dead babies. It would be different if it was just stillborns, but they use the freaking they just take the stem cells from the babies that they've literally hacked apart and sell the organs. That's what kind of world you live in. I don't give a rat's arse what anyone's opinion on the matter is. That's freaking evil. I really could give a rat's arse about your opinion on the matter. It's freaking evil. It is what it is. It's literally a freaking organ trade, but no one's gonna say a word about it. Oh, a clump of cells. Oh, this world. This world. This world, this world, this world. I understand why it drives people crazy, I do. Maybe I'm a bit unhinged already. Maybe I'm just a bit numb to it, I don't know. Because I think about this stuff more than most people, you know. I do. I look at a lot of negative stuff about the world, because people try and tell you to, like, look at positive stuff, but I find that people who look at positive stuff, they're usually very sheltered, you know. They're very sheltered to a lot of stuff. And I don't want to be too sheltered, but I also acknowledge that you should look at positivity, but even when I look at positive stuff now, it's like I'm kind of so jaded that I feel like, you know, was it really you truly being positive? Or was there, like, some kind of ulterior motive? Because, like, you can look at, say, a freaking animal video, right? Where, like, someone's, like, showing them rescuing some animal. And this animal is, like, pretty clean for being a so-called stray. And it's literally likely just some cocksucker putting a random animal, you know, like, somewhere in the middle of the road. And then, like, you know, recording the video to come and get it and to try and get, like, clout. It's disgusting. So that's kind of just how I think now. You know, I don't really give people the complete benefit of the doubt. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt in terms of your word. If you're, you know, trying to say something, I'll consider it, even if it's extreme. But I don't give you the complete benefit of the doubt these days. It's just me. But I think I'll leave it here. Rate the video what you think it deserves. God bless. I'll see you next time.